Budget committee meeting to order. Start. You wanna do that?
Sure.
Or we want to cover just who's missing?
I think that everything is yes.
Rich, Melissa, and Larry are out. Larry may join us online, so he's been sent. Otherwise, we have our 3 citizen members and the rest of the council and mayors who have formed. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Chair, we did this starting last year, and we'd like to nominate Alan Snow again. Okay. Anybody else want to nominate him? No? All right. All those in favor of Alan being the chair of the budget committee, say aye. Aye. Any not in there? All right, that's unanimous.
Skip one.
Did we?
Yeah.
No,
Shoot.
the corrected copy has the budget chair before.
Oh, okay, okay, sorry. I thought these were the
That's
ones-
it.
No, you're good.
Okay.
That's my bad. Sorry.
Motion to approve the agenda. Does anybody see anything in the agenda? You? Yes. Thank you. All those in favor? All right, that carries. So, Alan, well, yeah, take it.
For those who read the minutes from the last meeting, we reviewed it, is there any changes or changes?
I would motion to approve the meeting minutes of last.
Second,
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meetings, minutes are approved. All right. We're gonna turn it over to the budget officer for a presentation of the budget message, which is the letter following minutes.
Yes, and I'm just gonna highlight a couple of things. So, just the budget must be balanced between total resources and requirements as mandated by state law, which will require a budget committee and city council for consideration and actions. There are 6 budgetary funds. Of the 6, the building, the streets, and the motel fund have restricted funds, meaning we can only spend so much based on the state law. The general fund pays for almost everything else. The water and the short-term rental fund are enterprise funds. That just means that they have to be operating in the black, no negative balance. I just wanted, because of the way that we billed the water administration fee this last year, we are going to have a surplus of funds. But that is going to be used when we are trying to perfect those rights that we're going to be working on in the next 2 years. And some of that is going to be spent on the mapping that we just completed as of today. We have 265 PODs / points of use that are going to be added to our map that is online. So if everyone wants to check that out, if we haven't done so, that is on there. It's been a lot of work between myself, Oregon Water Resources, and our map, our LCOG map, our GIS person. And then I also kind of reserved the right to talk about that last little thing at the first page a little bit later, because I think we're gonna make some changes to that.
Resources.
Yeah, before, just above the resources, just where it says I would like the budget committee to consider the specific path for wage increases and possible year-end bonuses. Push that.
Just
Yeah,
going back to the response, and she said, they have what they call dedicated, restricted, or special purpose funds. Understand, like the building code funds is when you spend on the building code, state street fund, when you spend on the streets. Water funds are always spent on water associated things. Dedicated, not
Yes.
moved in between, whereas the general fund, so just keep in mind, she discussed. Yeah, dedicated funds, restricted funds, or special purpose funds. That have to be in initiatives and buses, the enterprise funds, which are not in the tax base, that would be self-sustaining.
and so there's really not a lot going on most of the funds. The water rights compliance fund, the only thing I would like to mention is just the fact that, we have started being able to accept online payments, so we don't have to take credit cards. People call in and give us their credit card numbers, and we're writing it down, go to the sheet. That, we can actually send out a link for people. And so Becky has already, since the New Year's thing started in July, she had already sent all the people that we invoiced for water rights a letter stating that if they want to have their invoice sent to them electronically, to give her their email. And so she's already received quite a number of those. So, and we're starting to do that with pretty much anything we can. It's been a slow process. We just need to change. It's always slower, and getting everyone to understand the new platform that they have to use. But we're getting there and start doing business licenses on there as well. So that should make a big difference. Hopefully save a little bit of time too, and postage. Just, yeah. We send out a lot of money.
Which is,
Yeah, pretty much. I think a postcard is like 61 cents. So, yeah, a postcard alone is 61 cents. Yeah. All right. Yes. Back over to you.
Those, the training slides, I know we're not gonna do those, but there's, for those that we need, there's some training basics and some of the basics that I will mention on there is, city budgeting is different from anything else that I've experienced in my life. In the past, when we're looking at the budget, any kind of the budget, it was very important to get the right numbers. When we see these income funds, the projections, some of them are fairly close, we give them to them. The number really wasn't matter. We're gonna get what we get. We have the long number. The importance in city budget is to have the line there. If we don't have a line there, we get like a grant, we probably have to come back, reconvene, and include it. The main purpose here is to make sure we have the budget line there. That we have our best projection of the budget and then our best projection.
The line item number needs to be higher than anything we think we're getting, because if we have it less than that, we can take over that. So
With
it has to be over the amount we think we're gonna get. So
wow.
we can set twice.
Or we have to come back and
Look at it.
they have to come back and reconvene and do something. So that's the main thing is,
That's way to budget for states.
don't get stuck on the number too much, because it's just a projection. And you can always come back and then say. All right, let's move on to the budget, and we'll start on the general fund income. That's what's up there. I didn't note anything on the income, because that's just, Eliza's gone down and looked at the increases on there. She's noted where she's got them, trying to make that change, but these are the projections of income up to the 224,000. Any comments on any of the income stuff? From relying $53,069 down to the survey 23, maybe 24,000 for 16.
We did a mention about that, it's nice thing Susan said, but like the grants, $2,000, so we can't get any more than 2,000 in grants.
That's just estimate. Okay, that's to guess.
So if it comes in higher than that, we have to amend the budget.
And I do have a $2,000 or a $2,000
right.
for planning. So
That was for sure.
that was a for sure. I have that.
Sometimes they'll put in $200,000 there, because they think they have a good opportunity. This time, like, they're not really planning.
It's time new. I did have a comment on the farmer's license fees, and you see my question there. So it is in an ordinance, and I put that in your packet, that we charge for garbage license fees for our garbage collector $2,500.
I don't need this.
Exactly, by the ordinance.
We have to change the ordinance.
It's in the ordinance.
That's an Christmas license fee.
Is it a-
Oh,
It's a special agreement contract.
Oh, sorry.
That's what.
There's a solid waste collections ordinance, and that's what that is.
Go forward. The city council, And we can motion this in budget committee, we recommend the council look at this and adjust it, because it used to be $5,000 a year. There's no reason we can't go back to $5,000. The reason it's not is there's two companies, we now has businesses, both companies. Why don't we charge him $5 million? And did you do the minimum to review that as a city council?
Yeah,
I need a motion to make that recommendation.
I don't think so. I think we just need to, at the end of this, you're gonna
Just make a
make a
recommendation.
motion with a, do pass recommendation, no, with the notes.
Okay. Recommendation to review and increase that if possible. Feasible. So that one would change based on the considerations of the council. Coming down here under the expenses of noting, the roof repair at 28,269, you think that's a good number?
The other estimates are, there's estimates over that, so I don't think that's a good number, so. Similar when I thought it was 32,000.
27, 27, 4,
I'm like, where am I looking?
So, you should probably be 36, and it's really.
Right.
It's five more drive.
46,000?
And that's, I mean, it gives you like 10% contingency. over- Okay, you comfortable with that? Okay.
This is preliminary before the bids have got in.
Yes.
6,000. The other one of note is the codification, like the 10,000 codification.
The code, getting that. But the problem is that we have chapter 155 coming, and unfortunately they charge per page. Yeah, that's what, right now it's 260 pages, but I think it's gonna be about 200.
But return of storage. So,
The other. It's typically. Look at what we call a material change. If it's just a couple $100, it's not worth our discussion. So maybe you just pointing out the ones that have changed from the actual in previous years. Going to the next page.
Hang on a second, on newsletter,
Mhm.
you were saying that used to be a much bigger number because it was a mailer back in the day, it was kind of electronic, and we need to increase the number.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so we have the cheapest up to 100 per month, and we're now over 100 subscribers.
Wow.
We need to make the next nine, it's not crazy money. I mean. Okay, we want to put 200 in there instead of 100?
Yeah,
Okay. Cause it jumps up to like 500. It would, you said 1,000.
On page 2, I didn't note anything that was a significant change. We had the audit was dropped, and she, what you explained is we changed the process on all of these, it's coming out about 40,000 and projected 20,000 is we're not doing the full financial audit. We have a situation where we can do it. What is the title?
Alternative methods.
Alternative method, which is a great.
agreed upon procedures.
Yes, so the procedures were 20 grand, and then it's review, you basically say, yes, I comply with it. And then review them, so it becomes down.
But we do have to have a bond with that, so you'll notice that it was 0 last year, and we went to $500 because we have to have a bond.
5,500 is a big change for 40,000.
Yes.
Great.
The only thing that I would like to mention is the website, because I know you asked me. I have it from 1,000 to 9,000, and that's because to me, it's all the apps as well. So like QuickBooks, QuickBooks Payroll, things like that, and Wix and everything else. So I've kind of been calculating that throughout the year. Okay, I have.
Questions on this?
Yes, I have. And I don't know when the best time to make this up. So Well, you asked me.
Right now.
Okay, go. So if we hire a new city administrator,
If,
well, yeah, you're gonna have to.
You haven't,
When,
you haven't.
so when you hire a new city administrator, um. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna sit in Italy and do anything. Water related.
I'm sorry.
So when that happens, the comments have been that the pay is a little on the low side, and then of course we do not have benefits for our employees. So, like health insurance, yeah. So. Yes,
Just like retire from.
yes,
if they're over half-time. So we have one that wants less hours than that, she doesn't want, everybody's with the first.
How many?
There would be
are
four.
veterans?
there'd be 4 people, because what I've researched is they have to work at least 17 and a half hours a week, and so you would have 4 people. You have Becky, so the water department, you'd have code enforcement, city administrator, and
Life insurance, health insurance, sick, what are they looking for?
well, I think they would take anything at this moment. Yeah, they're just looking for health insurance, and honestly, that was a lot of money. I mean, it was like $33,000 to $36,000 for all 4 of those people per year. So another,
That was just,
No. that's
Contribution.
we haven't decided.
Yeah.
Just do it now, so what do we cost, we get health insurance.
so another
The
option.
answer is
The other option, so all the employees are on Obamacare, right? Or
state.
state insurance.
$3,000.
Yes. So the other option would be to make like some kind of subsidy per person per month, to pay for their insurance. And they don't want a health savings account. So
Straight up allowance if you buy it.
we'd have to work something out. They'd ask the people who do our payroll, and we said it depends on how we structure it, right? So, they would just do whatever we ask them to do. In other words, that was a co-op in cities. Yeah, that was a co-op. The 33,000, what, yes, it was with our CIS, which is,
City insurance system,
well, so I mean, yes. So in my head, I mean, I kind of calculated it out, and so there'd be $3,600 in 4 different departments. So general funds, short-term rental, the water funds. So we add that to those,
The total.
it was about 15.
Jamie?
Is the short-term rental fund the same, the transfer?
No, that goes to Delta.
This is going to cost her.
That fund to be eligible as a share for the employee. It's mostly tourism related.
It could be, because if it's tourism related, but you're only spending, what, 30%?
No, 30% towards general fund, 70%
This,
towards anything.
that's a specific policy.
That, so you could use that funding. Probably
I was just thinking,
2,500
we can divide it among,
times 5. If that makes sense. This is,
So for a small city, is that, when you give people more than $17 a week insurance?
I don't know if it's common, but I asked the CIS, what the base would be, so that's what they said.
Services.
it is the most common is government comes with health insurance. So we're one of the only ones that start looking at jobs. All the nearby do. I mean, the next door competitor has health insurance and a health savings plan and I think a life insurance. They pay 100% for the family, whole family. Yeah, where I came from, that these employer paid 100% for the employee.
Fees, contribution.
We can figure that out if we decide.
That's one thing, so the next thing is the thing about pay rates.
Well, and that was my consideration. I think that if you offer them $300 a month, I mean, I think that, I mean, not trying to say, you know, I think that would be a good bump, right?
The thing you're saying pay raise,
But see,
pay for insurance,
because we could give them an offset for insurance and a mean insurance. And still.
That's talk about.
So that's offset for insurance would be a pay raise, or they need a pay raise.
I was thinking that they'd be happy with the insurance, or at least the offset for the insurance this year. And then, but I was thinking that in the future, it'd be nice if we had some kind of structure that, because before I got here, these ladies didn't have any kind of raises. So I know that they haven't had any for a long time. So,
And we don't need to figure out the structure, it's only, can we afford it? Because payroll's got to figure out, is it a pre-tax thing that goes with insurance, or is it just give them money, you pay it,
it's $300 is.
and you can spend it on anything?
they said it depends on how we structure it, because if we just give it this $300 bonus, then it gets taxed as not.
You have to have a certain kind of insurance to do that.
You have to spend it on, estimate your medical expenditures for the year. You put it in that account. It's not.
All right, so we don't need to solve, I mean, we're not solving payroll taxes here, we're deciding where to put it, like,
Put it in the budget. So then my next question is, an offset from the insurance, and they want a modified pay raise, could, I don't know, I think their pay is what you get paid. Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I wasn't eating Taco Bell, $17.50 an hour, what's our rates?
We're
urgency.
20 to 25.
So we're looking better than Taco.
They really do about the structured raises. Like, with inflation every year.
If you pay
I think it's
8%, 8%.
Things are so expensive. Yeah. Healthcare in depending on what you want, you could either give them a portion of that and pay raise, or you could just give them the $750, and that would be both plus care and $750 a month per person.
Yeah, we give the person a sued for that, whether it's for health. Yeah.
Well, you gotta remember that
They don't even consider it housing, they consider it
the
pay.
insurance part. So,
They wouldn't get any.
Yeah, keep the two questions separate.
It's separate. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at, it's $750 a person. If we did a split, we raise, we can pay $400 of it. So there's a half. And
There has,
give them a pay raise.
and it's nothing wrong, with it, it's the thought process. Getting that, it's soon just a salary and forgotten, it's good.
To me, in payroll, it'd be on a separate. Because it wouldn't be in the salary.
Something like Blizzard, because it soon becomes
I
an
understand what you're saying.
entitlement of the Brits, they call
Yes.
it.
Okay, back to the budget question. How much to add insurance? We'll see. About 36.
I said 36. So
I mean, total. So our question is per person, per year.
if you only allotted, like, I was thinking $300 per person. 300.
Well, what was your cost of insurance?
36,000.
Yeah.
That's what I did my
Okay,
estimate.
3,000. So the budget question is, are we comfortable splitting up that 3,000 a month into all the eligible funds
36.
and see if we can get an insurance? And then separately, I think we should just have a plug number of 5%, up to 5% for cost of living and for performance budgeted, and then it's up to the city administrator. because last year we left it to the end of the year and I. we-
$75, just wanted to equal the $50.
Gotcha. So we upped it for taxes. So it was kind of a last minute thing. We didn't budget it. So I would say if we could afford it, plug that number in 5% increase for on your payroll. And separate, if everybody's okay with that number. We'll firm up an insurance quote, not the employees. Look at all the funds.
It's 5% means, so it's in the city is totally. Have to be budgeted.
Yeah, we
So-
budget 5%, so it will be,
That means that versus 5%.
That doesn't total save really.
Yeah, so that would be,
This could grow exponentially.
right,
It's the problem.
Yeah, because it carries into closing.
but I think you're talking about it separately. Hey,
Right, that's, I mean, you gotta kind of figure it out. I personally group together.
Because it'll bump in the.
Wow. but should, you could go to the payroll tab.
Oh, there's my mouse.
So
So I started this because last year I had no idea. Started this. So in there,
What's the total?
well, I haven't gotten it, because that's just basically on a monthly basis, I've just been putting in what I've been paying. So I've estimated that we need about 200,000 for the city administrator included in that. Yeah,
That was my next question. It sounds like the process can close you.
Yeah.
Very.
I just,
on that number.
Okay, that number is, it's about 200,000 for me.
yes, for all of us.
200,000 plus.
But I did include that. That is a projected with additional, the other person.
That's good for one
For
more.
a couple of months.
Not for a couple of months, but just for a new
so
person.
it's 210 if you have 5%.
Yeah.
So about 1,000.
So like, so 355 per person. I didn't have.
Okay, what I'd like to bring up to council is 5% is $1 if any total dollars. That's just $1. Yes,
They're,
that's what we're talking
they're
about.
telling you.
Most everybody is part-time because we in the office, yeah.
So.
So basically, it's both.
1,000 will be.
And one of them's less because they get a retirement, leave their house
Yeah, so we were two.
for a week max.
She probably doesn't need benefits.
She does not, because she's sorry.
But if somebody else comes in, then
Right.
they would, so we have to do that.
Right.
So back to my question, that was last one.
Well, that's in your number right now.
Yes. Yes.
You're pushing hard for yourself.
And then she opens them, so we got to wiggle them.
Okay.
And the first question came, says it had health insurance. So that's why we got a quote for looking at health insurance. So is everybody okay with payroll goes up 5%? And then we'll plug a number in for the health insurance, we can split it amongst the funds. And if that's amenable, at the end of this, we'll make a recommendation to send to council and then the council will see it again. And if it's too complicated, yeah. If there's too many changes. we can do that.
Yes, running out of updates. What's the overall annual increase?
Well, that's where we're going to,
Right, it's hard to say from that, you know.
right.
I would say it's close to 50,000. That's what we're looking at. So, with the 36 and about 10,000 more for the other, so we're at
46,000.
So-
Does that include that 210,000 include the new hire?
Yes,
So that includes the new hire,
Yes.
includes your, with the new.
So that's 46,000 that you have to figure out for your.
How many retirements? That's a fire retired. Let's get it.
We have a job.
I just want
Yep, it was qualified. So we've done it.
PERS is a percentage, so if we increase salaries, the PERS is going up also. So that's why I want to count those places closer to 50,000 and forward.
So employment taxes pretty low.
yep, everything goes up.
Well, I was thinking about increases, I wasn't thinking about insurance, it's something we had to think about delivery of it. Renewable information. And I think it's, anyone else have any thoughts on insurance?
We've been an advocate to have more pay out here. I never did like the turnover that we had, and I think the way to keep them with insurance would be nice if we can afford it, but definitely the COLA. That they can count on happening every year without.
The only thing, agree with everything you said. The only thing that in my mind's going on is I keep noticing what's happening to the Medicare and insurance. And the policies are going through the roof. So your 36,000 is going to start there and it's going to be 50 if we don't have 75. That. Well, we currently have a vision. You're not gonna be interested in this, but they, just as I retired, they did evaluation of the Department of Defense budget, medical care costs, and that up from 2001. Only built them to a matter left, it's approaching $1 billion, and said it's unsustainable. Well, if they can't, why do you think we can?
And that's where maybe
And it's not just, it's just, I'm just scared.
something would be,
Mhm.
I don't know if that's.
But if we go 36,000, you gotta find.
Yes, we could cap the city's contribution. Push for it's covered if we can.
But should we cover their Obamacare?
That was the alternative, is to say, what does it cost approximately? And that varies with employee because you get a subsidy based on your income.
It's,
So it goes the other way. Less you make, the bigger your subsidy is. If we pay them less, they don't have to pay anything.
so, well, I took my salary. But it averaged, it was, you could have, the policy was anywhere between like 275 and 350. Depending on how much you wanted to take it. So. That's how I kind of came up with the $300.
Well, if, how would that? I had to fill it in. You can keep it in the separate.
I know that I asked, so Pam was the only one that was able to get all, to tell me. Becky's is definitely under the $300. Igor's was under, I believe, check to make sure. Yeah, his is under.
How would we fill it out?
I think so, because I think that's been,
You would basically pay for your health insurance if they don't have it.
Can you put that in a separate line so you realize that you're taking care of the health insurance? It's not the same.
yes.
Well, that's for payroll. We do hear about it. Don't worry about it.
Worry about it, because if you,
They're all gonna get a letter, an HR letter in the file, to satisfy the auditor as well.
but
That's all you can do.
it's soon forgotten, it's not.
Doesn't matter. It's not your job. You're not their dad. We're gonna tell them what it's for. And if they spend it on, I tell my cousin I'm gonna spend it on drugs and hookers. If I can't find something better. And she laughs, but. You know,
Okay,
we can do what we can do. I don't think anybody in this office is spending on drugs and hookers.
but it's just,
They're paying for insurance.
I told him it's going to be $200, it's soon forgotten, it's just taken. It's not.
But that's our job, and that comes to
But we can,
$14,400, which is
Yeah.
something we can afford easily within the budget compared to 36,000.
Potentially, health savings account is the answer because then it's not taxed. Otherwise, this is a taxable benefit. And they can spend it on anything they want. Yeah.
because the payroll people will be dependent on how it was structured. So she said basically you have to return it.
Yeah.
So maybe if I ask them how they can structure it where it's not as taxed as a payroll bonus.
Because we don't know if we look at this other plan where it might not cover the things they want to cover, if they've got covered.
And we'd be picking.
Right.
Right.
So, is our recommendation, as a budget committee, we motion for that?
I would motion maybe $300 a month. I know we can easily do that, and that's a start.
Okay. Someone investigate the health savings plan. So it's not taxable. And then it gets to your plan. If they don't pay for health costs or insurance with it, it sits in the account. Can't make a vote. Overtime, that's voting.
I think that was the hardest
Okay.
bit, so it's-
So our recommendation is $300. Help,
I would say, for those that work over 17.
so.
5%. Just plug it. Possible.
5%, so.
In salaries. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah.
Interesting, I thought it was going to be. Moving on to building codes.
That's basically self-sustaining, right?
Yeah.
It pays its way and you can't change it without getting moving.
Yeah, and you'll notice most of the numbers are exactly the same when change stuff like that's really outrageous.
It's a
The
tax.
other question I would ask is, are we covering our expenses, and like we were, so I think that's good.
The only thing you've got on the second page is that the school tax went up to 20,000, the increase in the inspector fees.
Yes. We did have one big bill though, it was like 17,000. For one unit, so that was a big thing.
So that is what it is. Any questions? Anybody? Okay, next one is on the street fund. Again, this reminder that this is what you call a dedicated slash restricted fund, and all the funds are always spent on street maintenance. Rated things. The incomes, however, got from basically from the build it is what it is.
The more we pay one, continue to see, we need to go for time.
Yes, that was how I, Susan. Yes, sorry.
That's one of those special things.
Yes.
Only thing to note is the street maintenance is $50,000. It's probably a good thing. It's maybe the only concern I have on street funding, this is just editorial, it's not related to the budget, is we don't have a process to reserve funds for these. Come back to replace them. Right, and replace the process. It's a big downfall in our processes.
well, maybe, we're maintaining things. We've been trying to really maintain things. I know we're a little slow. That's because we do have lack of funds, but I think, I'm hoping that, with maintenance, then we will be able to start with the firms.
Figure out we can get grants, I mean, this is quite expensive.
There is a small allotment grant that I've looked at a couple times because they send that out yearly. The only problem is that it doesn't, can't do anything right away related. I mean, it would be if we did need to do a new street, that would be the only thing that you really do. We can't do maintenance. Yeah. So,
That's just something, every 20 years, you need to find place your bills. You don't have that, that's just a concern, it's nothing on the budget for me, I don't have any issue with the budget, anybody see anything on the budget? I haven't seen anything materially different. Any concerns on the street budget items? Next, over to the hotel tax. This is the tourism, comes with tourism amenities. We're getting some extra funds this year, so we'll be 20,000 into the motel tax. She has planned to live in the parking and so
the $30,925. Yeah, so that is going to be coming to us from Clean County.
those are our numbers. So you've seen that our RTP budget went up, like for tourism type expenditures. Found our new chili cook-offs and other individual ways.
Yes. Hoping to have some more from events.
There's another bill introduced at the legislature, because right now it's heavily restricted, 30% general government, 70% tourism. Basically reverse that. It was 80-20 or something.
Maybe it'd be Jim Garden.
70, yeah. So it failed last year. Last full session, it was reintroduced. I sent a letter, I think Larry sent a letter to the chamber. They said they had some testimony a week ago, but this is the short session, so it's got like 7 days of that. But there's a lot of support, but the Chamber of Commerce statewide, they all oppose because they get the lion's share of this. In fact, they get a big. So the local chamber is really well funded for the newsletters and advertisements. We participate. We said it's infinite. But you can't spend it. Like a lot of cities want to spend some on law enforcement because like Rudy did, it's all about tourism.
Oh, law enforcement on special days should be tourism.
Well, except you're capped at 30% for all expenditures total. So it ends up, we might have 10 grand left for law enforcement, it doesn't pay it. So
I see we get flexible, right?
and we could spend it on road because the only increase in visitors is tourism. So it gives you some flexibility. So we all support it. It keeps time. So it wouldn't change what we get. It would change the rules.
And the extra funds that I put that we received this year, that is all, basically, it is taking me continually writing to Lane County. I actually wrote to them all of our, commercial properties, so all of our hotels and our campgrounds and our RV parks. I actually wrote down every single address because we, again, have the Florence zip code. And so we were not getting credit for that. So even though I sent one letter earlier in the year and they sent us a check because they realized they owed us some money, then I thought about those commercial properties and I resent another letter. And so then we got another $300 back. So now I'm.
How many letters did we? Nice.
Expenses and motel. The contingency line for $800 is just a balance. The water fund, again, if the water fund is an enterprise fund, which means it produces its own revenues. Projections are minor based on previous projections. Again, we just need to have a line in there and make sure that we receive it. The only expense I know of note was the examiner, and that's something that we have to do, get our water rights in order.
That is a placeholder right now, not in a spot. It could be more, it could be less.
But we have that in line.
Yes.
It's the best estimate of the examiner today, right?
Well, it's a pretty, wild guess right now.
It is.
It's still our best estimate for the day.
Yeah, that's all we got. And we met with the state to talk about, historically, they said, when you go to beneficial use, it's a one and done. You would submit everything that's moving water, and which would be less than our allocation right now. And they said, but then you're done, you lose that little bit of water, that ability to allow more water. I'm like, well, then why would you do it? Which is why this takes so long. They go, yeah, most cities don't do anything for like 35 years. And you just pay these endless, revisions, amendments to permits and stuff. So we came up with this idea, working with the state, that you could do a partial, right? So the part that's the city water rights, that's all mapped, and we had South Coast Water, they're the other biggest. They're city rights, but they're municipal system. Public. So they said, but if we had room for the expansion, and you could perfect everything you have, and it would get the city staff out of this day-to-day managing every revision, it would go to South Coast Water, and they've got an engineer. So it's both the water rights, and a civil engineer, so she could do the plan, help with the map. So we've got LCOG doing the maps, we've got everything now. So we've got a long ways, and if they could do this partially, then it would be with a brand new accurate map too, so it could be easier. And then future steps would still cover future city construction projects, but the city staff will watch this. They'd have to work, it'd be a passive. We'd say, sign up for your water meter, and they're gonna take care of it. So yeah, right now, the 20,000 is a big yes, because we're working on this mapping this time. That it gets a lot easier. It's up to them to decide what percentage they need to view to feel comfortable to certify. If our maps are really accurate, the water master's office, like, I leave that to them, but as accurate as we're getting with this stuff, it should be. Anyway, because Lila's gonna retire, and then Susan, the water master's gonna retire. So I don't know what the future will hold. Susan's briefing the staff. Susan's there for what, 2 more years? So we're thinking we would potentially make this step in that route, because she's super familiar. She's been just about 30 years. Yes, and the top number there, the starting balance is substantial. So you think backwards. We both adjusted the administrative fee, and then we added inflation, right? So it's 103, and we go up with inflation, so let's say it's 105. But it also, when we did all this mapping, we went from point of diversion to point of use. So it basically doubled the number of people that were getting that, because we had to do all the mapping, and we had to track them. So we do start with a substantial starting fund balance, but it is the case. And it could be an intensive balance. So if it continues to grow, we'll adjust the some point in the future appropriate. But right now, basically that's required. For $103, and we still get some complaints, a lot of inquiries. What is it? I didn't used to get this from the new ones that were out last year. A letter went. There's a Facebook post about it. There's still questions, and I'm not really sure what the question is. Other than, I agree, you didn't used to see it because South Coast did. But when we increased it and went to every single point of use, they said, you're gonna have to bill them all individually, because we can't absorb that. We're publicly regulated, we can't charge a fee. So we bill them, so that was the only real change, but it wasn't a new fee, it's just not a fee.
Well, also remember included in that is that there was quite a few years that hadn't all been collected, so there was some person that was supposed to there. So,
We back 3.5 years.
yes, we caught up.
Ask what was this bill?
Yeah.
So just, I said, I go.
Yeah, that's some of the ones.
Last year, and look, they did.
Strengths is one up to the short-term rental fund, this is a price fund as well, special purpose fund, it's on infrastructure and general purposes. They describe the funds estimated of what they're gonna pay for licenses and fees and their taxes on the week. The main change on this one, only on more, is we're gonna spend more for legal and administrative services they need to pay for the time. The city is spending in this particular.
So is that the code proposals?
Yes.
When you look at the orders again.
Yes. Exactly. Questions on personal? Okay. We're back to the point, we need a proposal to recommend the budget for the city with 5% salary increase, a $300 per person, with over 17 hours for health benefits. And a recommendation that we increase the garbage licensing fees. So these are 3 recommendations. We got any recommend?
Sure.
I make a motion that we approve the budget as presented with all things, the recommendation of the council that they look at the garbage license fees from increase. That they plan on providing a 5% salary increase to their employees. And a $300 per person health benefit for employees of over 17 hours.
I wasn't part of this, but what is that? Just
I'm gonna give an offset to the health. We don't provide health insurance. We didn't want to tie to providing health insurance because we need $300 per month as an offset to the.
And it covers most of the employees, what they're paying.
And we're gonna feature, look into putting in health savings account based on, I understand the tax structure, we can make the structure very. We put that in here, can help them, it's like, on tax.
You need a second.
Add that we were increasing the roof maintenance.
Oh, she's just gonna, yeah, the roof maintenance went to $36,000.
And the newsletter to
Went to 200 a
200.
year.
You have all those notes, Lila?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
with
that's
those,
a long, you got a second?
I'll second it with those changes.
Oh, good.
All in favor of approving the budget as presented with those 5 changes? There's 5, right?
6.
What's the 6?
No, yeah, no, 6. There are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I have
I
5.
got 1, 2,
5%, $300, garbage license fees, roof maintenance, newsletter. Oh, that's 1, sorry. Okay, 5.
5 increases. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then please take that to the city council.
All right, and this isn't really a budget committee decision, but we talked about our trash fee. Historically, we had 2 trash companies. The city allowed competition. I want to see if they're interested, because we have a contract with them, not a franchise agreement, and most cities have a franchise agreement for trash, so they're the only trash company. Given they know they have a monopoly and all new customers, sometimes they're more amenable to making adjustments because they know they're not going to have to compete and lose customers. So if we can get to that point, I would like to. That would come back to city council because it would be a new agreement, but you know, typically those are a percentage of gross revenue, so that you're encouraged to sign on all the new, you know, the new builds in the city, and you don't have to deal with any competition. Historically, we had competition, and, you know, it looked like we got 5,000 a year, except one of them never paid.
Really?
And then they bought the one that never paid, but we never got paid to date. They just continued to pay theirs, so, yeah, so it looks like the last 7 years, we only got 2,500 bucks, and we only have 2 companies, so.
We're not.
But it is in our ordinance though, that says $2,500.
Yeah, so we would have to visit
The
that.
proposal was just that you would evaluate.
Yes, and so if it sweetens the pot to make it a franchise agreement and, you know, and they're the only competition, because they now do all the recycling as well, they, you know, they exceed the state